Hello and welcome to another episode of OCR Talk. I might be changing the name to OCR Tech. Got a suggestion from Dave Claxton, and I think he's right. I think that is very fitting, and I could easily adjust the logo to it's just another 4 letters for Talk to Tech. So it really won't even be that hard. I don't know what that means for like the official pages like Libsyn and stuff like that. I would assume you can go in and make changes, but we'll see. So when I get time to adjust that logo, I'll make that change. But for now, still OCR Talk. You don't know if you can tell in the background. I'm definitely in a more scenic place right now than I was last time riding up from Austin. Now I have just left the Spartan Mont-Tremblant venue, and it is a gorgeous day. I don't think you could ask for a much better day out in the mountains. This morning it started around 40, low 40s. And I think Celsius, it was, the car said it. This is the only reason why I know. I think it was around 4 degrees Celsius. So a little chilly, but crazy thing is, this far north, it being summer, it's very sunny, very early. You go around this. I gotta go around a biker, but I don't want to go up the hill and run into another car, so I'm just gonna give him a second. Make sure that I can see what's coming, because yep, there's another car right there. There we go. Alright, good to go. The course was very cool. It was a mountain course at, 2,800 feet of elevation, I think is the peak. So not high elevation, so that's good. But as far as the elevation that you gained on the course, I don't think it was crazy bad. I think the biggest thing about it is that it wasn't such a drastic, like steep hill like you get at a lot of other mountain courses. Like Big Bear is a good example where the mountain course is just super steep. They take you up and down, and that's a little bit of course design too. But really, the steepest part of the course, there was one short hill that was pretty steep, but then there was a section that went through the woods. It was like single track through the woods, and it was quite steep and quite dirty, just a lot of dirt and roots and all that stuff. So got another hill with more bikers. Lots of bikers out here. I don't know if it's just a place that's just used to this, or it's like normally they've had lots of it before. But somewhere down here, there's signs for Ironman stuff, and there's actually like a couple of scaffolding things that they've put up. So I would imagine that they typically have Ironmans here, because the signs are not even like they're normal. They're like in the ground, like a normal street sign. But I just can imagine doing an Ironman in a place that's so hilly. That'd be pretty wild. I mean, not that I've done an Ironman at all, but yeah. So the course itself, it just wasn't crazy steep. Like the first, I'm gonna say just about first mile or so, I ran up, without stopping, without walking. So it just wasn't that bad. It's a very runnable course. And while a lot of it was on the fire roads, you had that section that was in the woods, and there was another section that was higher up on the mountain that I didn't make it to because I covered just the bottom half of the course. And so I don't know what it was like up there. It was, I don't know if you're going to be able to catch this. Gorgeous lake next to me. And there was a river somewhere too that I saw that I was riding by that was just absolutely gorgeous. And this morning it was like a flat river, but there's rapids all throughout it, just like little rapids. And this morning the steam was coming off of it. It was just really cool looking. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. In the end, the end after the bucket carry and the Z wall, there was no obstacles. Oh, there was plate drag, but after the plate drag, there was no obstacles until you got back to the festival area, and it was just not. I'm gonna call it mellow. It was mellow and fast. It was the fire road is very, easy running stuff to run on. Not so steep that you felt like you were gonna die, and so yeah, people were just flying down it. I was able to keep up with Sam Abear for like, I don't know, maybe a minute, if that. That was fun. But I'll go ahead and just say, I'll go ahead and I'll come back to this. The race itself, fairly exciting race. The men came through, and there was two guys that were kind of like together, and then Samuel Abear was behind them a little bit. And it really stayed like that for them for the rest of the race. Now, I do think that it's possible the guy that was in second may have passed the guy in first. It's kind of hard to tell. They were a little similar looking, and so it was hard to tell for sure who I saw, when they came through the barbed wire crawl towards the beginning of the race and who it was at the end. But Sam, it wasn't very far behind them. I mean, they were in sight, and yeah. So they had a good. I mean, they were pushing each other for sure. The women, though, you had two women come through near the front. Lisa Masaccio and Beatrice. Beatrice's last name is a little tough, so I can't remember it. But they came through fairly close to each other, and I think Beatrice was actually in first at the beginning, and then fourth place, or who ended up in fourth, came. Well, I say this: the third place woman at the time came through and failed the monkey bars, and the fourth place woman, I'm going to forget her name too. She passed her up while the other woman was on the penalty loop. And towards the end of the race, I saw them again, and they had swapped positions. Okay, so right after the monkey bars, I stayed with the lady that was now in third place. I stayed with her up till the next obstacle where the walls, it was like a 7-foot wall, and when she came through that 7-foot wall, the lady behind her she had caught up, so she was pretty close. So I believe she passed her not long after that, and then at the end, they were still about that same, like, they were very close together, and whenever they had swapped positions. So the lady that had done the penalty loop, she passed her, and when they got down into the festival area, the one that passed the other one, she missed her spear, and after missing her spear, she was on the penalty loop, and so the other girl, one that was now in fourth place, passed her up and was not that far ahead of her towards the finish. So she was having to push, but she had a decent little gap, maybe like, I don't know, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. But it was that close. Like, she was right there with her. And yeah, so she ended up taking third. So pretty exciting race. She collapsed after the finish line. Got some good video of that. So pretty exciting race today. And I rabbited myself. So, very, very fun time. Knowing, if you've been listening, then you know that we are opting for lives to tape, or post live as I like to call it. And I think I can get around the spiker now, yeah. And so that means that I get to rabbit because I'm free, I'm available, and because I'm not producing. So this time, I actually ended up spending more time coordinating the rabbits, emailing people, making sure people had the right info, looking at the course map, figuring out where people should get dropped off, talking through the plan with everybody beforehand, before the race. Like, that is absolutely a job in itself. It's just crazy how much time it takes to get all that down. I mean, I spent so much time just looking at that dang map and trying to figure out where people should go and like where they're going to end up and how that covers the course well and all that kind of stuff. So it's just crazy. And obviously, it's not obviously. Obviously, I can't run as fast as the elites, but you never know with the people that you're getting. And so I had a couple of people that said, Alexander and Julie, they both said that they were racing all weekend, so they didn't want to be able to be having to run the whole course. So I set them up in a couple of zones and let them kind of hang out there until the last third woman came through, and then they came back following the course from there. And then we had 8, including me. We had 8, specifying that they were going to make it. And then 1 had hurt their legs the day before. So then we were down to 7. And then only 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. We had 5 because it was me, Julie, Alexander, Lily, Lawrence, and we had one of the Spartan staff join in. I wanted to say Colin, but I think I'm wrong. So we had 6 total. I had planned for 7, made the adjustments, and felt like it was going to do pretty well. So I hiked up the first hill to where, past the hurdles, and went to where the barbed wire and the monkey bars were. So I waited just down the hill from the barbed wire because I knew that was going to slow them down. And then I caught them going through the barbed wire, and I waited for, I stayed at the monkey bars and waited for the top 3 men, and then of course more men were coming through, but the top 3 women. So once the top 3 women came through, I stayed with the third woman through up to the next set of obstacles, which is where the course kind of had come back on itself. So I was able to cut the course and go from there. So I dropped her off. I let her go at the wall, and Lily took over and went with her from there. Alexander was at the wall, and there was also Bender and the sandbag carry right there. So he was filming that as well. And I went on from there, since I knew he was there, because he was going to be there whenever the men came back through. And on the top of the course, we had Colin up there. He was around Twister, waiting for him. And I went on to the next set of obstacles, which was multi-rig, a wall multi-rig, Atlas carry, and then they go on from there. And then it's not long after that you get into the woods for some pretty gnarly stuff. So since we didn't have that 7th person that I had planned for, I went ahead and went from there after the 3rd male came through, which was Sam. And when he came through, I followed him, and there was a super steep, not crazy long, but super steep downhill right there. And he definitely, just left me from there. Like he got on that downhill, and I was not keeping up with him there. And, okay. This curve was crazy. There's so many bikers. And so I decided, I'm going to try and keep up with him as best I can. But, I would love to have caught somebody in the woods. But unfortunately, the next male was far back enough that I stayed ahead of them, because I never saw the 4th male come through in the woods. And so when I got out of the woods, that's where the bucket carry and the Z-wall is. So that's where Julie was. So that was kind of just up the hill of the woods exit. So I didn't go up that hill. I waited for the guys to come down to me. And the first guy came through, second guy came through, and then Sam comes through. And so I stayed with Sam through the plate drag, and then tried to bomb the hill as much as I could with him, because it was, like I said, it was nice and like mellow, so you're going fast, but not like dangerous fall over fast. So I stayed with him for a moment, and then had to let him go from there. But when I got back, once I let him go, shortly after that was a spot where you could see the festival area, so down the hill. So I cut off the course and went down the hill, got into the festival area for the men's finish, and Lawrence was down there too. She was taking care of the finishing obstacles, and so I got down there and got some of that as well. And then I went, after the top 3 men went, I started heading back up the course for the women. So when the top 3 women came through, I chased the first woman down with her for a little bit until till I was dying. So I let her go, and then I waited for the second one, ran with her all the way through, not to the finish, but through the spear throw, I think. And then once she got through the spear throw, I ran back for 3rd place and ran all the way down with her. And 3rd place, when she was on, so they come into the finishing gauntlet, and there's the A-frame cargo net, and then rope climb, Herc hoist, vertical A-frame, spear throw, and then a little further run before you get to the slip wall. But while the 3rd place woman was on the rope climb, you could see, I believe you could see it in the background, the next woman, 4th place woman, was in the background coming over the net. Or maybe it was probably when 3rd place was doing the Herc hoist. But so 3rd place got to the spear throw, and she missed, and so she went off on the penalty loop. So the 4th place girl came through, hit her spear, passed her up before she got off the penalty loop, and was able to keep that lead all the way to the end. So I was there to see that action, which is pretty awesome. It was a good time. Rabbiting is fun. I wish I could keep up with those guys, because I do enjoy it very much, but it's tough. So I wanted to say this at the very beginning of the episode, but I saved it for the end here. I just would love to have an episode of this, an episode of OCR Talk, OCR Tech, that's not just me talking about what went wrong. I just want one episode that's like that, where I don't have to talk about what went wrong. Did I talk about what went wrong last episode for DECA? I mean, the DECA show went pretty well, so I don't remember for sure. Oh shoot, there is a turning lane here. They do things a little differently in Canada. It's cool. That's a good thing for them to have. I like that. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway, so today we did this live to tape where everybody records locally on their phone, and then we upload them online, and then I get it later, and then I do a post race show, a live to tape show, but we're live to tape to live. So we're live when we do the show. We're going to be live when we do the show Monday evening, hopefully. And here's the problem. Here it comes. We get back. Everybody gets back. Everybody runs back in. We've got Colin, or whatever his name was, and Julie and Lily all following the third place women in. Awesome job by them. They get down. We finish everything up. Oh, I actually plugged in my this lavalier to my phone and got some interviews. The guys were all gone, so I got the interviews with the top 3 women, which is nice. And then we get back, start pulling the files off of the phones, and 2 of them, the files just aren't there. They hit stop. This is iPhones. They hit stop, and when you hit stop the first time, why didn't we do it beforehand? First time, it says, do you want to give permissions to allow it to have permissions to the camera roll? And of course you say yes, and they did that. And it still didn't show up. It just wasn't there. The video was just gone. So, two cameras out of our 6 that we've got nothing. It's not their fault at all. It's me not knowing that happens on an iPhone, and that whenever you open up the app and you choose to give it, it asks for permissions right away, but it doesn't ask for all the permissions. So very unfortunate, but it's where we are. So we got 4 cameras. We got mine and Alexander. And the other 2, you go into their iPhone, you connect it to the PC, and you look through their folders, and it just doesn't show up. It's like the folder structure. One of the girls, Lawrence's phone, only showed 1 folder, even though she obviously had, and there was only 1 file in it, even though she obviously had more pictures and videos and just other things in her phone. It just didn't show up. Like, I don't know what it is that iPhone's doing that it hides everything like that. I don't get it. I don't know if it's something the iPhone's doing or if it's something the PC can't handle. So those 2 will be sending their video to me, and as long as I get it tonight, by tomorrow, then we should be good. But we definitely are losing out on some good footage, that, especially Colin, because he was at the top and he ran his heart out following the top 3 women down the mountain. And Julie was at the bucket carry, so we got nothing on the bucket carry. Just, sometimes you can be positive and say everything's, there's always a takeaway, and there's always a lesson learned. And sometimes it just gets freaking annoying. Something's got to be wrong. Something's got to go wrong every freaking time. It's frustrating. So, we will put out a show tomorrow night. Hopefully it's got enough action in it to be a decent show. We'll see. Just crazy, man. But so yeah, we spent some time trying to figure that out, and then I'm on the road now to head home. Oh, that's another thing that happened. I was going to leave Friday night, have an overnight layover in LaGuardia in New York, and then fly in the morning. And I was going to get here around noon is about the time that I was expected to get on site. And that flight got canceled. It said it was delayed by an hour. So I waited about an hour before I left my house. And then I got to the airport. I was, figured if it's going to get delayed more, I'll see that. But it never did. It stayed at the same delay. And then it said it had no option to show my boarding pass. So I was like, all right, that's weird. So I go to the counter and ask the lady, and she asked me for my passport information. So I figured maybe that was it. But she gives me boarding passes. Like, all right, sweet, got the boarding pass. And then I go through security, and right as I walk out of security, look at my phone, the flight was canceled. So I got through security, and then that was it. I got through security and went back home, had a good night's sleep, got up in the morning, left out, and got on site at 6 o'clock. That was the earliest flight I could take. It was a direct flight. Left out around 10. It was a little delayed. Got to go through customs. The drive was a little longer because traffic was bad. And then, just driving out. It was just, hour and a half drive from the airport out to hour and a half plus with the traffic to get to the site, on site. So I got there and did basically the same loop that I did today, because I wanted to kind of get a feel for the course and where to go, and help me to plan things out a little more. So I got, a few miles in yesterday, and then a few more miles today. So overall a good weekend, but I'm just still reeling in the frustration for those cameras getting lost, and 2 cameras that I'm still not 100% sure if I'm going to get them. And now we're thinking about Red Deer being the next race. I left some gimbals with Fidel because I'm not going to be at Red Deer because I'm going to be at Utah. And so we're going to have to coordinate as best as possible to get that, to get all the rabbits together, get them the gimbals, and get them a plan. I'm going to have to get them a plan ahead of time. And Fidel had a good suggestion. Talk to Alexander, who is a good ambassador, puts in a lot of effort. He probably wouldn't mind if we, toss him a little something extra to coordinate for us to help get everybody set up and going. And then afterwards, we'll just tell everybody, that night, upload it to a Google Drive. We probably won't specify exactly when that coverage will air, just because not being there, I've got less knowledge of when I will get those videos. And we've also got Utah too, so I've got 2 races to contend with to do shows for. So I'll aim to do Utah. Utah's a beast, so I'm pretty sure it's got to be on Saturday. So I'll attempt to air that one Sunday morning. And then, Red Deer will just be somewhere later in the week. Yeah. So that's it. That's me. And I know people that know how much effort I put into this, how much work and time I put into this. And I do it so people have something to watch. And obviously people complain when the quality's not perfect, when there's a moment that you can't see an athlete because it's just a rabbit running through the woods. Which I get it. But they're watching something free, and they're just, you expect what you expect. And I'm trying. I'm really trying. I'm trying as hard as I can. We just run into stuff along the way. You just got to keep dealing with it. until somebody else comes in. If Hyrox's, whoever they got for video team, will start doing obstacle course racing, I would love to work with them and kind of like, that would be awesome. Help them come in and be like, hey, you guys got the crew, you guys got the technical stuff down. Let me help you assimilate into OCR and be part of that team. That'd be cool. But nonetheless, that's where we are. This is where we are in OCR. It's 2024, and as some people have said, it's 2024. We should have clear races with people on the rabbits, on the athletes all the time. We should. Technology should be there. Well, it is. It is, but it just costs a lot. And I'm only one person. It's just a lot. It's a lot of stuff. So I will keep trying, because any race that we put out as a video, people get to watch it. And at least they've got something to watch. Because otherwise, there's not anything. There's people's Instagram stories. That's about it. So I'm going to be somber for the rest of the drive, and I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for listening. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon.